Run, river, run, run through the hills. Run, river, run to the sea. Run, river, run to your place beneath the sun. Run, river, run over me.
Hi, this is Jan Lewis. Welcome to Begin My Guest. Today we have Angela Singer with us, and she is an author. She has written the book Forgetting What I Couldn't Remember. I'm going to show it to you right now. Did you do the cover?
Actually, funny story about that. I hired the younger sister of one of my favorite pop stars to do it. So Gracie Knight, the younger sister of Austin Knight from Water Parks, did the cover for me. So, networking.
Well, I like all the colors.
Yeah, she did great. I was so happy with it.
Yeah, it really is. Now, her book, Forgetting What I Couldn't Remember, this is somewhat based on some experiences you've had in life.
Oh, yes.
Tell us about the book.
Oh, there's so much to this one.
That's okay, we're listening.
I started because, as a kid in middle school, I had a rough time socially. Bullies were a struggle. Teachers weren't able to help to the level I needed them to, so it was very tough. But, I found such solace in this book because I basically went back in time to my younger self. And what would I say to that girl? What would I do differently? What would I want to learn and bring to that place where I was struggling so much, and how would I approach it? So this book is kind of me making peace with all the stuff that I handled at the time that was tough, but, it really ended up so great, and I'm really happy with how it turned out.
It's amazing. Now, would you call it fantasy?
It's kind of a contemporary time travel coming of age with a little bit of romance in there.
Yeah.
So that's actually book one of a duology. There's a sequel too.
There's more coming?
No, it's out. It's out.
There. Oh,
yeah.
The rest are out?
Yeah, there's one more book. So
Okay.
it's a 2-book series.
Let me
Yeah.
read the back of this. Very good. Vera Bartlett is a soon-to-be college graduate with absolutely no idea how messy her life is about to become. It's not just the job search looming on the horizon or her lack of a boyfriend that's got her stomach in knots. Rather, her dad has been missing for almost a decade, and no one knows what happened to him. Now, enter Uncle. Tell us about Uncle Edgar. Tell us. Go ahead.
People always ask me about that. He's not based on anybody I know. Everyone always has kooky family members, and they're always like, oh, is that based on so-and-so? And I'm like, nope, it's just a character that I kind of put together. But I love the way people always find something in that they relate to. Like, Uncle Edgar is, oh, my weird neighbor, my weird uncle. Like, it's anybody. Mm-hmm. So it's just a fun trope to kind of play with.
And she sifts, the star of the show here in this book, sifts through the mangled pieces of reality. And her altered memories of middle school drama become jumbled in between truth and fantasy. So she has to go through everything and come to her own conclusions.
Yeah, and I was doing this myself in real time. Like, I graduated college, and I'm like, what do I want to do? Who do I want to be? Like, what is my deal,
Sure.
So this was kind of healing in real time, and I love that I got to do this and bring it to the world and share that story, because nobody writes about, like, time travel in this way, at least that I've seen. I can't speak forever, but...
This type of book, every one of them is different, unique. This type of genre, we'll say, is very popular right now.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to an expo, a book authors expo?
Yeah, well, as you mentioned to me earlier, I'm on the Rhode Island Authors Association board, so I help a lot with their expo. We do an expo in December, and I handle volunteers and do all that with them. So I go to that expo. I also do Rhode Island Comic Con and do all that fun stuff. So
yeah, Comic Con. I think that Mike Spartito mentioned that the other day.
Yeah, Mike is great. Mike is our association president. He's like my cool uncle. He's not related, but he's cool. I look up to him a lot.
I talked with Angelina Singer. I get it. And she wrote this book, Forgetting What I Couldn't Remember. Almost sounds like a book for seniors.
Yeah, I mean, I was playing with the idea of, like, how John Green always does long, like, book titles and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's always very, like, kind of poignant, but also we don't know what it is until you read it. So for me, I was playing with the idea of memory and how trauma affects what you can actually recall. So sometimes you can't remember things until you go back into that place. I literally had to do that to write this book. I had to go back into that younger self, and it was very, very difficult. I listened to music I liked in middle school. I talked to, the few people that I reconnected with. My middle school teacher, one of them that I actually loved, my favorite teacher, Mrs. Tuvok, I spoke to her this summer, and we reflected.
What subject did she teach?
She taught a few subjects. It was a very small school, so she did, like, English, history, like, grammar, stuff like that. And she's amazing. I love her. We're, like, good friends now. But she knew all about this, and she kind of helped me she gave me some insight of like, well, you didn't know this, but this is why so and so was like that. I'm like, oh my gosh, I had no idea. So it really brought it full circle, and she's a wonderful lady. I'm so grateful for her. So
Angelina graduated magna cum laude from Stonehill College, where she studied English, music, and of course creative writing. You were a busy girl.
Oh, you have no idea. I run an art business on top of it.
Oh,
so.
I majored in art. You ever heard of Plymouth University up in New Hampshire, Plymouth State?
No, what's that?
I went up there too, but I bet you had a better time than I did. I finally got bored, but it's beautiful up the White Mountains. That was great.
Yes.
But I was like, where am I going with this, you know? In your spare time, which probably she has very little of, you enjoy crocheting.
Yes, that's my art business, yeah.
I got knitting, but I couldn't seem to master crochet. With a portfolio of work available for purchase on Instagram, okay? As well as you mentor younger music students at a local music store where you have been studying guitar for over a decade.
Yeah, 13 years. Yeah.
That's, my parents got me a guitar. I remember I was about 13, 14.
Yeah, I was like 11, yeah, so it's been a while.
What got you into guitar?
Great question. I said, Dad, I want to play drums. He's like, nope, you're playing guitar. That's what happened with that.
Yeah.
But I love it. I do. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of ear training. I'm training to teach now because I am primarily a freelancer now. So I'm always in front of my laptop, and I really don't want to be stuck in front of a screen all day. I want to be around people.
So freelance doing what, do you think?
So editorial work for authors, businesses. I currently work for Grove Collaborative, which is an organic product company doing, articles and product things. So really just any kind of content writing is what I do. So I'm always looking for more work.
And you came in from Raynham.
I did, yes.
Now, Raynham. I've lived in Brockton, Bridgewater. Not far from Raynham, right? Middleborough, Raynham?
Yeah, that's around there, yeah.
Are you close to Foxborough? Or
Yes, my aunt lives in Foxborough. No, she lives in Plainville now. She used to live in Foxborough.
Oh, she what?
She used to live in Foxborough.
Yeah, my parents lived there, too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's 140 is a nice leisurely way down there. But you came up 495,
Yes,
right?
yep.
Yeah, that's the fast way to go.
Yeah.
She brought her mom with her, but her mom's visiting downstairs. That's okay. You thought this was radio?
You know what? I do so many of these. I never know. I'm like, cool. There's a show. Great. I'll do it. I wasn't even thinking.
Angelina, how can they get your book?
Yeah. So the book is actually available on Amazon. Just search my name, Angelina Singer. Goodreads. My website is angelinasinger.com. You can get it there. It'll link you to Amazon. If you want signed copies, you could reach out to me on my Instagram at Angelina Singer Author. My Twitter is asinger320. And we can definitely get you a copy. So.
That's excellent. Now, this is, you said, the first of a trilogy.
Correct. So the sequel is actually called Forgiving What I Couldn't Change, and that one involves a lot of virtual reality. So she gets stuck in a video game, essentially, in book 2.
Really?
Yes, really.
Oh.
Yep. It's a whole thing. I don't know if you know anime, but there's an anime called Sword Art Online, and it involves characters getting stuck in a virtual reality trap. So I brought that into the world, and basically her old bullies created this whole virtual reality world, and she gets stuck in it and has to fight her way out. And she has a surprising helper of sorts that has a mysterious identity that I will not spoil because it's really big in the book. So yeah.
Okay, so that would be the second book.
Correct. It's
What's
a
the
duology.
third one?
There's no third.
Okay, so it's 2.
Yeah, it's complete. I have a separate series called the Upper World series, which is a trilogy that's dystopian sci-fi, and this is contemporary
What's next? I know you must have something coming.
Oh yeah, I've
do you
started
got?
something. I'm hoping to get some kind of representation for my next concept. It's called Breakup Queen. Basically, it's a fake dating rock star romance. So this really emo goth girl, she has no dating experience. She just is totally scary. Nobody talks to her, and this rock star rolls into town that graduated a couple of years before, and he needs a fake girlfriend for clout. So they help each other.
Gosh.
She runs an advice column, and they find out that she's never dated, and so she has to fix that so that people don't ridicule her.
You've got quite an imagination.
Oh yeah.
Were you like this as a kid?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
When did you start writing?
That's a fun story. So I've said this many times, but you're gonna laugh. So
Slow down, we want to catch it.
yeah, of course. This is a good one. I had a massive crush on a lead guitarist in band camp as a kid at that store that I help at.
Don't feel alone. I had a massive crush on George Harrison and the Beatles.
Oh yeah, well.
Oh.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. There you go. It's always a lead guitarist. No. But yeah, so I had this massive crush for 7 years. It's embarrassing. It's fine. I own it now. And I wrote him into a book because I needed to get that out of my system, you know what I mean? And so I did, and of course I cringe at it, but my mom is like, oh, it's so cute, it's fine, and like whatever. But yeah, it's really cute, and I'm proud of it. So it's called Just Like a Pill. It's a love potion.
How old were you at that time, Angelina?
19 when I published that first one. Yeah.
Okay, but did you start writing as a child or in English class?
Yeah, it's funny because my teacher, Mrs. Tuvok, that I had in middle school that I reconnected with, she was amazing. She's like, you don't have to do another draft. This is perfect. You don't need to rewrite this. Essays that make you rewrite them a few times. And I was like the only one, probably why other kids also hated me, because like I got special treatment. Because I was low key smarter than them.
Did you live at Stonehill when you went, or commute?
I commuted. Yeah, you save a ton of money that way.
Isn't it? Where is Stonehill?
Easton. It's like North Easton.
Oh, that's so close.
Yeah, it's 20 minutes. Like I
should remember that because living in Brockton, I was right next to Easton.
Yeah, exactly.
I've heard it's an excellent school.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. They have great programs. The music program was smaller, but that's okay because I just wanted to get the minor, like for my certifications. But
what are you doing now? I mean, you're busy with your books, but what are you doing now?
So right now, I'm a freelance editor. I am training to teach guitar, so I have a guitar teacher who's helping me learn how to do that.
You have what?
A guitar teacher who's helping me like do the ear training stuff. Okay. It's hard. It's really tough. But I'm doing all that, and I have just editorial work, always networking. My art business is still going, and yeah, I do a little bit of journalism too. I have backgrounds in music journalism. I've networked with like Taylor Swift's management, Florence and the Machines, Heart. I've done like all the big stuff. So always hustling. That's the plan.
Are you the only one in your family? Or
I'm an only child. Yeah.
So is my son. Yeah. What do you think of that? Did you want a brother or sister?
I did. As a kid, like, I was always like, I'm lonely. My parents are too much in my face. I love my parents. No, I do. I love them. But, I need space. And I still live at home, which is, like, fine. I'm saving money.
I did, too. I was in and out in my 30s.
Good to know, because I'm almost 25, and I'm like, am I supposed to not be here? But, like, you know what?
Like a back penny rolling back.
It's a what?
I've been gone for a couple of years. That didn't work out. Come home for a couple months. What the hell?
Yeah, I mean, it's something that I think people my age are just doing more of, so it's not, like, shameful like it could have been in previous generations, you know? So, yeah, it's really good for me, I'm saving up and doing things.
I'm going to see my father go, she's back. Well, I was like you.
Yeah.
I wanted to try different types of jobs.
Yeah.
A couple years. I need a rest. So
yeah, definitely.
Think it through, then go try something else. They never stopped me.
Yeah, no, my parents are amazing. They allowed me to do all the things I'm doing. They paid for my schooling. They take care of me still and cover certain things so I can do what I'm doing. So they are an incredible blessing. It's just something that I want to like shift my focus to be that independent person, even though I still rely on them somewhat, if that makes sense.
What would you like to do for real? I mean, as your real job, what would you like to do?
Oh, music journalism. I'd love to. Oh my gosh, if I could be like a PR person for like bands and stuff. Like a PR, like like a public relations, that's what it stands for, I believe.
Yeah, PR.
I would love to do that. I mean, like, editing is great. I love content writing, but like if you can do writing like for bands or for musicians and artists and just that kind of industry would be like amazing.
I think you'd be great at it.
Thank you.
I really do. Now, what are you doing to get yourself to that point?
Yeah, I find myself in the upper echelons of like fangirls. So like
to the what?
I call it the inner circle of fangirls. So like if I'm into a band, I will weasel my way into the top, like the top caliber. I've made friends with people in bands. Like even there's a show on Netflix, Julie and the Phantoms is a show, and it's heavily music involved. And for some reason, I found myself involved with like the higher circle of fangirls who like have connections to Kenny Ortega, and so we were petitioning for a second season and working on some stuff. So like it didn't go through quite the way we thought it would, but it's still great to network, and it's amazing to have that connection. So it's been quite the journey, and so I always find my way that way.
We're talking with Angelina Singer, and Angelina has written the book. This was the first one, Forgetting What I Couldn't Remember. How again did they get a hold of this book, Angelina? Yeah,
so it's on Amazon Goodreads if you search my name, Angelina Singer, or Instagram, Angelina Singer Author, and my website is angelinasinger.com, nice and simple. You can check it out on the novel tab. If you go to the menu, it's all there.
Now, you are a member of the ARIA.
Yes.
Well, tell them about the ARIA.
Definitely. So the Association of Rhode Island Authors is a really great nonprofit local club, basically. We do all kinds of outreach for local writers and artists, just people that have that creative bug, so to speak. And so I'm on the board. I'm the youngest member and the youngest board member. And I'm trying to bring in young adult people to the club. Basically, if you have kids, like preteen, teenagers, like bring them to us. We want to teach them and support them and help them in that writing journey. So I'm actually running some Instagram pages for them, young adult authors. I think it's authors. No, it's RI Authors YA is the younger one, and then the regular one is RI Authors. So yeah, we just
and you like it. It's all over you. You really like this. You
oh
really
my
like doing
gosh,
it.
I love it.
How long have you been in ARIA?
I think I was 21. I think 2021. So I think it's been 4 years at least. So these people are my family. I like Mike Squatrito, the president who you had on here. He is like,
just had Mike Squatrito on.
I like to say he's my adopted uncle. He's the best.
He's a good guy. Also, well, you know Steve Porter.
Yes, I do. And Tabitha Lord, she's incredible too. She's our vice president. She's great. Yep. I mean, I love everybody there, but these people on the board that I work with, they're incredible. They're so supportive. They help me a lot. They're awesome.
Were you ever, Angelina, in the? I know that we went to our first.
Yeah.
It's amazing, and the first one we went to was when it was on in Cranston on Roads on the Pawtucket. The big book fair that it's wall to wall.
Yeah, the expo.
Now they, of course, because of the reasons of the building not being in good shape, changed it.
Yep.
To Warwick. What is it in Warwick?
The Crown Plaza.
The Crown Plaza.
Yeah.
And were you there? When was your first year at that?
Probably the first. Okay, so the first year I joined ARIA just to get into the expo.
Yeah.
My aunt had met Stephen Porter at one of her she works with medical technology, selling healing lasers. So she met him at a trade show or some kind of networking thing. I don't know. Right. And she's like, "You should look into this." I'm like, "Okay, sure, why not?" Right. And I did, and now I'm on the board. So
what year was it? Do you remember? Because I went there 3 years ago, 4 years.
It would probably be about that same time.
I must have gone. Did you have a table with your book?
I would have had the first few books. So I would have had Just Like a Pill and I think some of the dystopian trilogy. So I would have had at least a few of those. Yeah.
Huh. Now you have, this was the first of 2.
Yes, that's my most
downstairs
recent.
In the Upton Library, you're going to have a copy of both.
Yep, you're going to have all my books. You're going to have the cringy one I wrote about the guy from Bandcamp. You're going to have the dystopian. I brought all of them. So,
online, you can just go and you could do it too. You could buy it. Where are you going to appear next? Very big question.
Oh my gosh.
Where are you going to be?
Yeah, I really should have prepared better for that question. If you check my website under events, you can check all my new events for 2022. So I have some craft shows I'll be at with my books and crocheted work. Obviously, Comic-Con, Rhode Island Comic-Con in November. The ARIA Authors Expo in December. So a lot of good stuff. Just check the website, angelinasinger.com. Events page is the best place to look.
You need, you seem to, you're more in right now in your area, right? Rhode Island, all that type of area.
Well, I'm in Rainham, Mass. So
you were what?
Rainham, Massachusetts, where I live. So Rhode Island is where ARIA does most of the stuff, but they'll do stuff in Mass occasionally.
But I know Steve and Mike know about, you know our Tatnuck right over here in Westboro. You've heard of that.
Yeah,
Do not miss out.
I did a book signing there years ago. It just wasn't heavy traffic, but again, I also wasn't marketing myself as much as I am now.
Oh yeah, you have to know. I always tell the authors, make sure that you have a nice big sign. Get it made at Staples, whatever you need to do.
I use Vistaprints.
Were you up near the cash registers, or were you in the big room in the back?
Tatnuck, I think, it was kind of in the middle. They had a table in the middle of the big room.
Okay.
I think.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, because a lot of the authors, a lot of newbies that haven't been out a long time, they like to sit right up front, and then people go by all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a mother and her daughter who were here, were on it. Her daughter was an infant and was in daycare, and one day Mom came to pick her up. The child was like seizing, and and it's the story of how she lived. The girl was sitting right here. So mother and daughter, Claire's voice. She made it through. It was fascinating. They were right there. She sold, I think, 10 books, and how long over at Tatnuck? Yeah, I would suggest giving it a try again. It's one of the biggies in this area, but there are tons of other ones.
I'll look into it. I'll check it out.
Go for it.
Yeah.
So you got that one coming, and you've got another kind of a fantasy one coming up, you said.
Breakup Queen, I would say, is...
What's it called now?
Breakup Queen.
Breakup Queen,
because she runs an advice column for her school. That's the goth girl who's everyone's afraid of, basically.
Yeah.
And so she, Breakup Queen, because that's her name for the advice column. So I would call that really just contemporary romance with a hint of like humor and snark to it. Because it's that, and I am gonna try to get backing for it. So I don't see it being out for a while. I really want to get like at least a hybrid book deal or something.
How long
bigger.
does it take you to write a book, Angelina?
It depends. My very first one about the guy from Bandcamp was like a month to draft it.
A month?
Yeah, I was
how
crazy.
About your
that one took at least a year and a half.
Okay, yeah.
Did it? Did it? Yeah. Yeah.
I have a friend who's in the Men's Society. Give her a little plug. Lisa Shea, how you doing? This gal can write a book in a night.
No. How long?
Oh, yeah.
Hold on. How long of a book?
She's a night owl. She writes everything.
Well, I'm a night owl too, but like, you telling me she like 8 p.m. to like 7 a.m. whole book written?
Being in the Men's Society, they have a different IQ than the rest of us.
Well, yeah, definitely.
And she's into everything. And is
it like good? Is it a good book?
Excellent. I threw out an idea to her one day. Not only did she take it, she did it that night.
But how long is the book for her? Like, is it like
They're about a little bit, three quarters of this.
That's a solid book.
A lot of them are local, based out in Sutton on the Mysteries on the Big Purgatory area, lake and all.
Oh, yeah.
She's pretty amazing. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, you did what? I said, you ever sleep? But I understand she's a round-the-clock night person. I guess she sleeps more in the daytime. Wonderful. She is the head of, there's a Sutton Writers Group. If you writers out there want a place to go, contact Lisa Shea. Do you belong to any of the writers groups?
Just Aria at this point, yeah.
Okay, so that's from Raynham. Do you go to Portsmouth or Providence?
For what? For
Where
Aria?
do you meet for it?
We do Zoom meetings mostly. They have, before COVID, they had in-person meetings at, like, I think some kind of a church, but I never went. It was, that was before I was on the board and all that, so.
Sure.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I try to be available whenever they need me, so if it's Zoom, I'll do that.
You could start your own writers group there in Raynham.
I could. Aria keeps me plenty busy, though, I have to say. Between doing the expo stuff and the board stuff and the young adult stuff now, I have plenty.
Yes, you are.
Yes.
This book, I would say, anybody from, what do you think, young adults up?
Yeah, I like to say, like high school and up for that one.
That's good.
It's pretty clean. I mean, I push the envelope a little, but it's not bad,
Some of the kids in high school, though, are reading, even in freshmen, that's amazing, their level. They're already reading more higher up.
Yeah.
And especially, like I said, fantasy, sci-fi's big.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're combining sci-fi and fantasy.
I love those.
And it's called how did you spell it? Comic-Con?
Comic-Con? Is Rhode Island Comic-Con? It's a big, I like to say lovingly, a geek convention. It's a lot of people in costumes and, Star Trek, Trekkie stuff, Star Wars, whatever, Marvel stuff.
But they're authors of their books.
Yeah,
right?
so what it is, it's actually a convention for people who are into, the geek stuff, the Marvel Universe, the superheroes. It's a lot of merch and appearances from actors, and then us authors, we rent tables. I pay half price through Aria.
Mike was saying that, and I said to him, well, what do you dress up, as a dragon? That would be fantastic.
I would pay to see that. That'd be hilarious.
He'd be fantastic at that. Nope, he doesn't do his dragon thing.
He's a character. He could pull it off.
He could pull anything off. Oh, gosh, yeah. I really freaked him out. I asked him, his birthday is October 7th. Hello, Mike. And I said, I think that's Vladimir Putin's birthday.
Is it?
I looked it up again. Vladimir's a lot older than Mike.
Yeah, of course.
Yes, October 7th.
Is it the same? Well, Mike will give it a new connotation.
Oh, definitely.
He's a good guy. He'll,
Oh, yeah. Well, my father's was October 6th. That's pretty close. Oh, gee. So, you grew up as an only child. You grew up in Raynham.
Yes.
Okay. Did you know at an early age that you kind of were heading this way? Right?
No, not really. I mean, I will say middle school, teachers would comment, she can write. She's got something.
You did well in English class, right?
Oh, I kicked butt in English class. My ACT test scores, over the top English and writing, really low.
Math.
Really low.
Yeah, me too.
Really
it's amazing
bad.
I made it into college. I mean, I just skidded through with that. Oh, it was horrible.
Yeah, well, I was lucky. I still got a good scholarship to Stonehill College.
You got a scholarship?
I did. That made
How'd
it
you do
affordable.
that?
They just gave me money. I didn't apply.
They just gave you money?
They gave me $60,000 to go there.
Why? How did they find you?
They liked me. I don't know.
How did they find you, though?
So my prep school that I went to, they brought recruiters in to meet us. I think it might have helped.
What prep school did you go to?
Boston Trinity Academy in Hyde Park in Boston. You've heard of it?
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Most people haven't heard of
There's
it.
one here called Job Corps.
I don't know.
It's a little It's a little rougher around the edges than where you went.
Okay.
But it's another one where if they can get the money, they will probably.
So it wasn't my high school that did it. What it was is they brought in recruiters to like meet us and network and stuff senior year, and then I think it helped to put a face to the name. And then like I had good grades. Like I was not top of my class. My high school was crazy intense. I had stress, anxiety, exhausted. I low-key hated it, but I got through.
What was your worst year in high school?
Okay, so 9th grade I went to a smaller school that was not the prep school. We transferred me in 10th grade. So the small school, although people were nice, it was a tiny church school. It wasn't prestigious enough for what we wanted.
You were a sophomore then?
Well, yeah, 10th grade would have been the sophomores.
That was my worst year, sophomore year.
I think, well, I don't think I had a bad year at that school. It was all just intense. Like, the whole thing, it wasn't bad, it was bad for me, if that makes sense.
Did you get to graduate with the class, though? You were moving around a bit.
Okay. So I was there for 3 years. I was 10, 11, 12 at the same school, so I did. I had a class of like 40 of us, or whatever. And it was crazy intense. People were nice, but it was hard. And, you know, you butt heads with certain people here and there, as you do. That's life, you know. I'll never forget though. My college counselor, like, she didn't think I was good enough for Stonehill, and she kind of said that to me.
You're an Energizer Bunny. Where did she come from?
She didn't.
She didn't see it.
I just think she didn't like me. I'm an
That's
acquired
not to
taste.
like.
Oh, thanks.
Okay, we're going to have to wind this up. And again, we've been talking to Angelina Singer, and boy, is she a busy girl. She has written "Forgetting What I Couldn't Remember." Again, how can they reach it, Andrew?
Yeah, it's angelinasinger.com is my website, or at Angelina Singer Author on Instagram, Twitter, at asinger320, and same on Facebook, Angelina Singer Author. Just reach out, say hey, send me a message. You know, Goodreads, Amazon reviews are always really helpful. Thank you so much.
Don't forget to come down to the Upton Library, too.
Yes, I'm leaving copies.
You're 2 books there, both of them.
You're going to have all of them. Yeah, I have 6.
All of them. Yeah, that'd be wonderful, and you really get to know what she does. Okay, now, with your next book coming up, when will that be done?
I have no idea. I need to get backing for it.
All right, let me know.
I will,
and we'll get you back on again.
I would love that.
Thanks for being with us.
Oh, it's been a pleasure. Thank you, Jan.
Okay, we'll see you next time and be my guest.
Bye, guys.
Riding on a shooting star, heading out toward a dream. Tomorrow's even closer than it seems.